Cool.
Alright, we're live. We're live. For some reason it's all 60 FPS despite the fact like it's all just hovering on an image. So, OBS, you are fucking brilliant. I'm with the director again, Savitar. Say hello. Or don't.
Hello?
Yep, hello. Okay, come on Discord, fix your voice connection quickly.
I'm on Discord, that's the worst part.
I just need to quit like my Origin and stuff. I forgot I actually had that open, to be fair. That doesn't really help. I'll leave Steam up.
Good.
Yeah,
I just sent an image.
yeah, I know, I see it. Right,
Nice.
just grab all the stream link and everything, because we've got one person watching. Hello, person.
Hello, good person. Thank you for watching.
Yeah,
That is chopped.
it might well be, to be fair. Now we've got people coming in and starting to watch. We'll quickly just like, I'm not sharing it to Facebook. I am not sharing it to Facebook.
Do it.
Nah, like,
Do it.
Facebook is just crap.
Yeah, I know what it means. I know what it means sometimes. I did share. I tried to share the BTVA page onto Facebook.
Yeah,
The page to put it on.
that's another thing we're going to be showing a
Didn't
fair bit of in the stream. Like, I might even play a couple of auditions. Yeah,
Nice.
today we're talking about Godspeed as opposed to when else aren't we?
That's Godspeed, not the God of Speed.
Yeah, true. Nah, but like specifically today we're discussing things such as his character's relationship with Caitlin Snow, which, like, you've seen the test script which I finished yesterday. Like,
Yeah.
anyone can say it's going to be
Yeah.
sort of interesting the way those two interact, if that's sort of how they stay in terms of like their character and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a guy. Oh, it's Barney Channel. It's literally a video game
Yeah,
which I'm voicing in.
Oh, nice.
So it wasn't chopped. It turns out it's just my brother's acquaintance from school.
Huh.
Or something.
Hello, Kanan's brother's acquaintance from school.
The guy's name is Barney. He's got his like channel name, as you do. Nah, but
Nice.
yeah, like, it's really interesting because, like, you know, you saw the script yesterday. I was debating, like, is it worth making longer because Caitlin isn't actually saying much. I just decided, nah, not really. Like, it's sort of good to see just like she's sort of staying silent. She doesn't have much of a very high opinion on him, like, per your expectations, really. Hello, have we lost him? No, we haven't. Yeah, so that's interesting. What did you, like, you know, you've gone around, you fixed some, like, stuff in the script. What did you think of it, really? Just wait for my voice connection to go green. Thank you, Discord. Yeah, so now that it's green again, what did you think of it?
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah. Discord, you're absolute shite. Nah, but like,
yeah, it shows a good dynamic between them. Even
you're very quiet. Just wait for it to go green
Even-
again because it's currently like amber. There we go. Now you can speak.
okay, it shows that like there's a dynamic that can be built upon, and that's good. We're gonna need that.
Yeah, because like
And
her
the
character in
content
this.
was good as well.
Yeah, because like it's in the pipeline. He does get captured at one point, and it's debatable like how long is he going to end up staying there. Particularly because you really do consider, like, is he there because he wants to be there, and like that's the sort of impression that you're getting from this, really, because Otherwise, people are just like, hang on, what's this guy doing? Is he just chilling? Is he just there?
Yeah.
Is he just there to chill and like have banter? Really, isn't it? Because it's a very sort of interesting dynamic that I was going for. Like, I really, we've mentioned like exploring Godspeed's sort of relationships with other people before, and like you
Yeah.
don't get much of that. You see a glimpse of what he was like with Barry in terms of his interactions in the Rebirth comic. So I
Yeah.
really found it interesting
Apart
to.
from
It was really interesting to build
you
upon,
got
really, because it's like it's brief, but it's there, sort of thing.
yeah. 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 Even though it's short, it's good. Like it's a good way that you've built it up.
Because like there's a lot of stuff that's going around this character. Like, oh hello, like what's his agenda, and it really does come as an interest because his relationship with Caitlyn is a very sort of mysterious one. It's just like Caitlyn's sort of known as like, oh, she falls in love with the villain from season 2. She's stupid. She wasn't actually, because like he's really trying to bait out the fact of he's trying to bait out Killer Frost. He wants to see if she's truly this criminal that she was painted out to be in season 3 during the sort of final end of that.
Yeah, and two, two,
Wait for the connection again, mate. Okay, you're good. No, you're not good. Next time, mate, we need to
two.
do this over Skype.
I don't have Skype.
You should probably get it.
Well, anymore. Yeah, yeah. But again, I think it's because of my internet really.
Yeah,
Because if the second I drop out, well, my data really. But the second I drop out, it goes amber for you. So it's definitely me.
yeah, it's definitely you. Hopefully
Alright,
you'll
maybe
like connect to some.
next time you probably will.
It's really interesting because we do this on the back of like the most improvised timings possible, and
Always always when I'm like,
yeah, it's always when you're never around, and like it does
it's
sort.
like you can, it's like just tell, like you have telepathy.
Oh, here we go again. Nah, but it's really interesting because like
Uh,
Caitlyn's sort of this character. She's oh fuck me, I'm red. Hang on. There we go. Okay, I remember again. That one was bad. No, you can sort of tell like she's not in the mood for like Godspeed's crap. She never would be. She never is going to be. Which is sort of interesting because she's made the mistake of like having this interest in the villain before, and it really sort of turned into this interesting dynamic.
yeah. Maybe we should ending a non-canon mission that ends with them going to the apartment. No, that's not.
That's
That's
not
not.
no. Nah, try and keep it sort of PG-13 sort of thing, and
Yeah.
it's it's an interesting sort of position really because Caitlyn's in there like she's going to the pipeline. She's sort of trying to make him sort of see there is a way back for you. There is this sort of redemption, but you have to be like you have to want it, and like he just straight up rejects it. He straight up rejects the hints. I think he's had to mute himself a sec.
Hello.
Yep, you're there. But yeah, he straight up just says, "Nah, I don't care about your hints. I do not. I'm not after redemption. Like this is me giving people revenge for what has happened in terms of
My
everything
Discord,
else."
my Discord crashed.
Nah, like I really think like because we've shared it with the actress who is playing Caitlyn, she's not actually like responded to it yet, but like we've
Yeah.
both shared it. I've sent it to her in a message. You've sent it in
Ah, cool,
to her as in a voice
cool.
actress
So yeah,
stuff.
when she's
Yeah,
next on, she'll definitely see it then.
yeah. So
She
she'll.
seems really eager. She seems
Yeah,
really
she's
eager.
definitely
But yeah,
going to
she, of
see
course,
it. Yeah,
yeah, of course, she is busy with other stuff as well. So
yeah,
we
she
have
is.
got
Like she
like
has a lot of like sort of scheduling conflicts and personal life, obviously,
yeah,
which is sort of similar
yeah.
for us because
Like
we're
with
talking
look,
we're
yeah,
talking so much behind the scenes. Like most of when people are seeing us is when we get involved or we try and start up a conversation and put in our views. or we're doing one of
Yeah.
these. You and I talk so much in DMs about this, but also we do have like good sort of banter. And I think there will be
Yeah.
scenes where Godspeed is just like, ha ha ha, look at this Barry, just to try and
Pardon?
really piss him off, because you're playing Barry, you're playing like one of the voices of Barry, because like there are two
Yeah.
voice casting options for him. That said, another character I really look forward to exploring the relationship for between Godspeed is I do actually look forward to exploring his sort of relationship with like Savitar slash Future Flash.
Yeah. Yeah. No hints at what way it's gonna be yet, guys. Sorry, but we're not saying how it's gonna be. We're just giving him the two names that people know him as.
Yeah. Now if they've watched the show, then they should sort of understand it. It's not really a spoiler
Yeah.
at this point.
But then, yeah, but it is for a game, really. We don't know, like, well, what's that?
No, it's very
We're
interesting because,
still
like, you
deciding
you and
between
I
it.
have sort of nailed down, like, there are brief examples of, like, Godspeed and Savitar interacting from a very early draft of a demo script I sent you. That's currently being done by other people, because I think I've sort of unofficially been sort of assigned to doing, like, the cutscene stuff. It's never the writers and
Yeah.
I aren't really talking much at the moment. You can sort of tell we're having to discuss a lot of stuff in the
Yeah.
this main Discord for it. We have our own, actually. No, people aren't allowed into it. We're not going to invite you. You're in there and you've seen, like, there's very minimal interaction, so it's sort of like
Yeah.
unofficially I've ended up doing cutscenes from, like, these script drafts. Because there is sort of the idea for them
Yeah.
to potentially become cutscenes, or maybe divided into one or two.
Yeah. I mean, I can't really blame it. Like, blame it with the lack of interaction though, because the second it hits the weekend, interaction boosts up more than there is normally.
Yeah, like,
Like,
time zone
it's
differences
more.
really do play a part in this, and obviously, like, it's amazing, like, the age of, like, people who are actually getting involved with this. Like, you've cast me in the part I'm in at the age of 17. Like, you're right with me saying your age, or would you prefer to keep that quiet?
Yeah, 17.
Yeah, you're the
I'm
same
17 and a
age. Yeah, we're all the same age, and you're already, like, voicing this, and there's always this sort of
Yeah.
very interesting sort of idea that it's going to be. It's all very different, really, because Godspeed has a
Yeah.
lot of different ideas. Nah, but he and Savitar slash Future Flash would have, like, we should give the warning now. We've no idea which one of the two it's really going to turn out being. It will be one of them. They really don't like each other.
Yeah, they don't.
Nah, like,
Can't we,
some
can't we
will
blame
sort
them
of,
though?
yeah, some will sort of, like, draw the conclusion, like, is Godspeed trying to manipulate the Future Flash? And it's one thing I really look forward to seeing speculation on.
Yeah.
I know the answer because I'm writing the story for the sequel. I know the answer to that. I know the answer because it's
Yeah.
sort of going to, like, I really want to think of this as, like, a new and revised sort of origin story. Fuck me, you're dropping badly. It's a new and revised
Sorry.
sort of origin
Sorry.
story that the Arrowverse, if they chose to, could potentially use. Please, CW,
Yeah.
use this character in Season 5, cast me to play him.
A young Godspeed.
Young Godspeed, but, like, no, it would really work well, because one thing I'm really looking forward to dropping hints about, like, people know Godspeed's origin if they've read the comics. They know his brother was murdered, and I'm really looking forward to exploring, like, why was he murdered? Because you didn't get an answer to that in the comics. And with this, I do have a sort of planned out
All we
idea
know
as to why his brother was murdered. I've not touched
it's
on it.
not. It's not.
I've not touched on it yet at
It's not
all.
going to be typical. Oh, but it's not. It's not going to be the typical drug deal gone wrong, is it?
Not going to be the typical what? Sorry.
It's not going to be the typical drug deal gone wrong, is it?
No, it isn't. It's a lot different. Like, I've not touched on
Nice.
it at all yet. The only thing I said was in a drafted script scene for Barry and Godspeed, and, like, it's also really interesting because the other sort of director, Ahmed, is irrelevant now because he doesn't appear ever. Mohammed is he's said, like, he does like that scene. He does like the way Godspeed is interacting with these people. So it's going to be very interesting because, like, I really look forward to sort of shedding that light. And with that, he goes silent. Come on, Savitar, say something. Or have you muted yourself again? I do not know. No, chat, if you've got any questions, like, please, like, mention them, because I am checking up on it. Don't be afraid to ask. We're going to answer what we can. Savitar, he's still there.
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, that's good. I was
Can
about
you
to
hear
type.
me?
I was about to type a message to you, but yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I can see. I can see it typing right now. Canaan's Jedi Temple is typing.
Stop typing now. But yeah, like, it is actually going to sort of have this backstory. Why was his brother killed? What was he doing to get into that position? And
Yeah.
although it doesn't sort of mention them directly, it will tease interactions with Black Hole in the game, because I don't think it's going to be likely that they're sort of included or mentioned by name. I don't really see it happening. With this,
Yeah.
it's sort of going to be like subtle Easter eggs and hints towards them as well.
Yeah. And that way, people can say it's less of a rip-off of of Rebirth if we don't like.
I
Tease
think
some
it's
of the
also the
parts
fact,
that are integral.
what we're going on is sort of the first part of Rebirth. We're not really going off the aftermath of it or anything, and it's going to be an interesting idea,
Yeah.
perspective, and all sorts that people actually choose to explore. And
Yeah.
it's sort of already been mentioned.
See,
Like, I've
see
publicly
how
announced, like, as soon as like the main stuff is done, I'm stepping down from main script writing to focus on the sequel. Well, that's
Yeah.
one thing I really am looking forward to.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully, it gets chosen, isn't it? If it doesn't get chosen as sequel, hell, propose it as like a third one or something. I don't know.
I've got this. I have this idea for Godspeed's character that it does sort of branch out into a trilogy. Like I can see myself thinking like it's going to sort of turn into this trilogy, and like Godspeed's going to have this massive sort of possible redemption arc at the end, and it's going to be interesting as to whether that plays out or not,
Ooh.
because I really want to sort of consider like making it somewhat episodic. Like, the levels are sort of like these episodes, so they're not actually these generic go round complete an objective thing. It's going to sort of, I really want the sequel to take a sort of telltale feel in the fact you can go around and interact with these characters in the level, giving it more of an open world feel. Like, you look at things such
Super
as,
speed.
yeah, sort of like it's looking at things like Life is Strange or like Telltale's The Walking Dead, the only version of that franchise I give a shit about. or hell, like even their Batman, like it'll be this whole thing of you can go around, you can see people's interactions with you, and it'll be very interesting when you do. So that's what I'll have sort of planned for the sequel, and possibly the third one if I end up doing the story for that. But like, talking
Yeah.
about that, like we'll talk more about like the sequel later. But it's these.
Any questions yet?
Let's have a look. It sort of depends if more than one person's watching. Nope, it's still only one person watching. Still no questions. So,
Well, it looks like this person getting a private viewing, didn't they? Lucky fella.
yeah, they do. I've just sort of gone away from like where the chat was, so well done me. It's all sorts of like different ideas that's going to go around, and you see all of the potential that comes from it. Mostly because
Yeah.
Godspeed sort of being set up throughout. If this does turn into a trilogy, that's what it will be. He's being set up as like this big threat, and it's going to be interesting with how that plays out. Now, but like talking about threats, it's a very interesting one that Savitar / Future Flash. You know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to call him Savitar until we know for certain. It's very
It's easier. Easier.
It is. It's very
It's usually a
interesting.
code name until we know.
Yeah, it's officially code named. It's a very interesting threat he's going to represent as well, because we said last time he's all about like going to try and fix Barry's mistakes, and some of you will argue, such as what, like last time Barry sort of tried fixing mistakes or doing anything, he created Flashpoint. Very interesting sort of point of view, really, because you consider all of what's happening and what's going on, and then you think, okay, what is going on here? And it's going to be interesting because you and I will discuss that behind the scenes a lot. Like, we talk about a lot to do with the character and this whole idea of it. away from the developer chat. Like, you know, you're always asking me about stuff.
Yeah.
I'm always asking you about stuff. Like we're sort of working closely, not just because we're both the casting directors for it, but also because it's sort of like this thing where if we don't, it's going to raise like more questions. Like, okay, they seem to work well together. What's just happened? Nah, it's interesting, really, but like, it's a very interesting threat. Like, I'm gonna look forward to writing scenes between the two. But yeah, all in all, like, do you have sort of a, you know, you mentioned you wanted to do a whole level of Savitar going and killing Iris. You know, I'd love that to happen, partially because her character is just a fucking bitch.
You cut out for like the last 15 seconds, so
I was just saying,
Yeah,
like, it's interesting because, like, Iris's character is just such a bitch at this point. Like, you look at how everything has been done for her in the show, she is actually just a bitch.
poor writing.
Yeah, it's poor writing, but it's also, like, it's also somewhat...
Apparently, even
Oh, no, continue. Well, I can't hear you for a sec.
her actress, Candice, apparently, even she doesn't.
Yeah, like, I've seen things where people have said they weren't happy. And it's very interesting because, like, Savitar / Future Flash, you know, you look at him in, like, the comics. I think it's called Out of Time, the storyline where the Future Flash appears.
Yes,
it
is.
Yeah, there's not
Futures
really... There wouldn't really be much you can take from that because you consider, like, the sort of, like, is it worth having him as this main threat? And I wasn't really sort of a fan of the character in the slightest, purely because, like, it's this whole idea of, well, what's the point of having another version of Barry, and this time he's a killer and he's wrought with guilt.
He's like you're saying, he's kind of crazy. He was traumatized for like 20 years.
Yeah, he was, and like
a lot longer
than most people. And I think it'll be an interesting sort of position when you consider, like, is Savitar doing this to be selfish, or is he doing it because he genuinely wants things to change? It'll be interesting to find out.
I mean, even in the comics, it was both, wasn't it? He finally decided he'd had enough. He wants like everything back to normal, and it'd also be good for the world if everything is back to normal.
Yeah, it would. But with that, like, people will no doubt speculate, like, is he doing it out of guilt, or is he doing it to try and show Barry, like, you can't be a hero. I've already tried. We can't save people. We've done too much wrong. And I think it will be an interesting sort of character idea to explore. Because once again, like, it's going to be similar with what I did to Godspeed, and you're going to play a part in this as well, because you're voicing the character. You know, we're going to have to, like, completely break this character and, like, put him back together with all sorts of different things. I'm making crazy arm movements people can't see, but that's what's going to... It is what will happen, really.
Yeah. It's going to be awesome.
It is going to be awesome, but, like, again, it goes back to his Godspeed's relationship with other characters. Like, he and Savitar don't like each other. They've had enough of each other. Like, Godspeed is out to sort of make Barry become a killer. He wants Barry to keep doing what he does, and it's really going to put the two at odds as well. People wonder, like, oh, why is this happening? Why does it have to happen? And it's going to be this sort of, in a way, yin and yang situation, really. You consider it, and it's all going to turn into that. Like, people will speculate for who knows how long. But, you know, it's sort of debatable, like, what we do after that, really. And, again, I think a lot of the actors we get, like, the only person we've really cast from, like, outside of the project is Caitlin. And there are still all sorts of things to go for it. I'm just going to quickly flash up the voice actors page. People can actually go here, like, we're accepting auditions longer than until December. Like, we're going to be accepting them for months. Which is sort of ironic, because, I think it'll get a bit more attention now, because, like, Teco has actually closed the casting on his game. He's closed auditions for it. So, I had a look yesterday, and he has... Yeah, he's actually...
Oh, no, he needs to extend it.
Oh, does he need to extend it?
Right.
Does he need to extend it? I'll have a quick look.
Yeah, I believe... yeah, because just
days,
Hang on, wait
and his
for the
server
connection, mate. Okay.
just the other day.
Yeah,
Yeah, you just need to extend it.
he... Oh yeah, he's extended it until like 11:59 today. So he's probably going to extend it again.
Yeah, I don't know why he doesn't just extend it until December.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it depends if he wants to sort of keep things going that long or not. And it's a very interesting kind of perspective because, you know, for a while you look at it, you think, okay, this one's closed. That means another fan game has the opportunity to get a bit more of a look from other people who might be going around looking for things to voice act in the DC universe. And like, you know, the characters I'm showing now are by no means all of the characters in the game.
Yeah.
They're only a very select few. Like, we're adding in all these characters from like across the place. Like Caitlyn and Cisco weren't even on the original like list of characters who were meant to appear.
Oh, they were.
No, they weren't.
No.
But like I'd already sort of like put them in. Like I figured that, you know, Mina is going to be sort of an outsider, and like it'll be interesting in terms of like what is she going to be doing as well.
Yeah.
Because there is going to be a death in the game, I think.
Say that again.
I do think there will be a death in the game. I think it's sort of bound to go that way. Yeah. I'm not sure who it will be that dies. It might be Mina. It might be someone else. It's going to be very sort of interesting because like we are looking for young actors to genuinely play the younger characters as well. Like,
Yeah.
and like we're taking it seriously. Like, and people would think, oh, it's a fan game. They're not too bothered. We are actually setting like try and sound this sort of age. The only reason it was different with Godspeed was because like I'd already auditioned for him before that was put in place.
And it was a good audition as well.
Yeah, and this was before like I'd completely sort of nailed down the voice of the character and everything. Like, it's all different really because no one knows what to really expect from him. I think someone's just arrived home, which is typical because like stream can probably hear the dogs barking, but there we go. Nah, it's typical. Like, I always do something and then there's an interruption, but then again, I was partially expecting this one. Yeah. But yeah, Godspeed's gonna have very interesting relationships with characters such as Caitlyn, Savitar, Barry, maybe even Cisco. Like, it'll all be interesting as to how he looks at them.
We know Cisco. There's gonna be some relationship between them because he's gonna be interested in that suit, isn't he?
He'll be interested in the suit, but like it sort of depends. Like, is the suit going to stay as is? Like, it really depends on the concept art. Like, he'll wonder how has a guy made a suit that's able to handle all of this, and it'll be interesting as to whether we make some tie-ins to the Justice League film or not. I really don't want to, but like it'll be like a plausible answer.
As long as we don't have armor being strung around by string, I don't care.
No, it's all sorts of things that will happen, really. That said, let's talk about some other characters and hints about the game. Like, let's talk about some other characters who haven't actually been put on.
Just before that.
Yeah.
Before that, you know how you say about.
I didn't hear that.
You know how you say about how Savitar hates. How you said Savitar hates Godspeed.
Yeah.
Well, at the moment, we haven't decided what that reason will be.
No, we haven't. Like, it's gonna be It's gonna be interesting. I think it's sort of like, you know, Savitar's gonna have these memories of like what Godspeed has done.
Yeah.
But I don't think it'll be the reason that there's gonna be a very sort of strong hate between the two. Like, they're working with each other because they have to. But it's interesting, like, who is really sort of in charge of this partnership. You know, is it Godspeed? Is it Savitar? And like
comics, really.
Yeah, like
they're both really vicious. So.
They are both really vicious, but like Godspeed in a way has this code. Like, he's only going to go around killing criminals, and like I think an interesting thing will be because like I've sort of alluded to it in the scripts as well. The question will be like, is he going to threatened to kill Iris maybe to get Barry to go into that darkness. Like Savitar failed, but like Godspeed, no matter what, will have his powers because like he got them. Like I'll confirm this now as a writer. He did get them in the Speed Force Storm from season 3. He got his speed that way. So no matter what, he's still going to have his powers. Yeah, no, even in the comics, but like people wonder, oh, the timeline could potentially be changed here. No, it's going to stay the same. Like he's going to have his powers from there. Everyone, like people might have wondered, did a later event happen? Like, is he only starting out? Maybe, but like he was sort of like choosing to play things silently. He was choosing to sort of study the Flash a bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, confirming that as a writer, that's how he got his powers. So he is still going to have them in the sequel.
Yeah. Hell, I mean, say about the suit. Say about Cisco. Like, how do you do it? Well, we don't know yet. It could.
You know, it's a whole mess of things. Like people will wonder, oh, is it to do with the timeline or is it to do with another reason?
Yeah.
No one really knows.
And the way he has, it could be the way it works. We don't know. We don't know yet. It could be something.
Yeah, it could be.
It could made up. We haven't really decided yet.
No, we haven't, but it's also going to be interesting to explore.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, other characters that are going to be in the game, they'll be interesting. So yeah, hopefully Savitar is still there. Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, that said, let's drop some hints about the game and like other characters in it. He says, thinking like, what can we particularly say that doesn't give away too much? Yep, I'm still here. Yeah, what hints can we sort of drop about the game and other characters, really? Because, like, that'll be interesting. And waiting.
Think. Any hint?
You know, I think we can sort of say, like, characters such as Captain Cold will be there. Like, you know, we've already sort of put Heatwave on the audition page. It's just going to be interesting. People will be like, oh, what's happening here? Yeah, characters, you know, other characters such as the Top are going to appear. Yeah, Weather Wizard is already cast.
In Heatwave's description, I changed your description.
Oh yeah, let's have a look. Oh yeah, I see it because I've seen that before. I'm just like, yeah, that's pretty good. Like it's interesting as well because like characters such as Captain Cold or the Top, you're wondering are the rogues going to form like properly because like you get hints of it in the show. I think in a way they've formed, but they're not. They're sort of going to sort. There's a lot of like differences going on, like, and a lot of that you could, you know, you don't know what to think really. Another character who we've not put on there yet is Hunter Solomon.
Oh yeah,
he's going to appear.
Mr. Hunter Solomon.
Now, before people like wonder, like, is it going to be as Zoom? Is it going to be as Black Flash? I think it will more than likely be a Zoom. But he'll be a beer.
He will be.
Yeah, I think.
I can confirm that.
Yeah, I think it'll be more like they're appearing in these sort of. He's appearing in flashbacks, really. Like you're wondering, is he there as flashbacks or what? Our mystery character still not cast, still no auditions for him, but he is, you know, still on the page. He is going to be the villain of the sequel.
Well, your version, because of course the other Kanon's planning yet.
I'm the only one who's so far submitted anything for it. Like I've sent you a screenshot of like what it all is. Is so far.
I know as he's mentioned that he's been writing the end. So yeah, it's got to wait who reveals it.
I think like the story, like despite the fact the sequel is still in flux, I do think it's sort of going to be very interesting because like we're skipping a whole point here because I sent you a plan of what we're talking about, but considering the fact we've mentioned this character and how he's a completely original one, I think we're sort of going to try and lean the sequel to like, and I'm not saying this in a biased way. I think it's sort of going to lean towards like what I'm setting up anyway, particularly because it's going to be very heavily on like the aftermath of this, but it's going to be it's going to be very different. Like you're going to lose a lot of the characters who are in this. I've minimized the window again. I need to stop doing that. You'll lose a lot of the characters who are in this, but you're also going to probably get people coming around and like asking, oh look, can we like try and get involved in this again? Let's see if we can play a different character.
Oh yeah.
Because we'll be bringing in loads of others. It's a much bigger and diverse cast.
For me, that is a big part. Characters, that's a big part.
Yeah, because I think it's a reason. That's the reason I sort of ended up doing the cutscene scripts unofficially. Like, I'm taking the time to sort of dig deep into these characters. Like, what's the dynamic going on? What's happening in Team Flash? What's happening in Team Savitar? I guess because it's still interesting. Like, who's in charge of who?
Yeah, Savitar.
Is he out for some sort of? Who's out for what, and it's going to be a lot of like divides because Savitar, like the way I sort of structured scenes between the two, Savitar really won't appear until much later. Like he's not going to appear until like 3/4 through the game. There might be like Godspeed mentioning, oh, there's this bigger threat, but Barry and Co aren't going to find out until like you think it's nearly too late. But yeah, Zoom will more than likely be appearing in things such as flashbacks. Like most of the characters we've got on there, like the character list I sent to Crimson Wrens has sort of been put on the page. Another one is going to appear. Jay Garrick is appearing. It's going to be interesting to cast him and stuff as well because like, what sort of attitude is he going to have towards all of this? Like he's going to come from an Earth where the timeline hasn't been reset from all of this. So what's his take? Yeah, because he's from Earth 3, isn't he? So what's his take going to be on all of this?
Yeah. Is it going to be Earth 3 or is it going to be Earth 2? Because
he's Earth 3. If you remember from the show, he's from Earth 3.
Yeah, but in the comics, he's from Earth 2, and we're mixing it. So what we can do? Earth 2.5?
Nah, we're doing Earth 3 for him because like that's the version set up. That's the version I'll probably be writing it for.
Yeah,
as well.
And it's also the version that more people get familiar with.
Yeah, it is, and it's a lot of time sort of taken considering characters like this. So, all sorts of things can happen.
Hell, with how active John Wesley's ship is with communities, maybe we can try and get the word to him about the fan game.
He is in like Facebook groups and stuff, and it's all very intriguing as well because who knows? What's going to happen? Like, it's a very interesting sort of perspective. I've got like Steam going off because I'm sending the stream around like messages and that quickly.
Yeah.
But
he's in some Facebook groups.
Yeah, he is in some of these Facebook groups, and he has a very interesting sort of communication relationship with the fans. Like, I'm going to guess like half the stuff that gets leaked from the game, it's leaked because of him. You just know it. You just know, like, instantly, he's the reason that a lot of stuff.
About that. You cut out.
Yeah, you just know, like, half the stuff that gets leaked from like the Flash and all of that. It gets leaked because of him. Talking to people in these Facebook groups.
That's my new headcanon now. That would be funny though if you actually leaked all like episodes of Flash to people. I know this happened.
Like people say there are like leaks going on from inside the CW like Arrowverse all the time, and I think he's the reason it happens if he's in these Facebook groups.
It'd be him and Stephen Amell, innit? Because
they're both very active with the communities, and like that's something you admire, particularly because like how's Jay going? yeah, but back to the point. How's Jay going to react to Godspeed? Like, like, is he going to have this sort of foreboding idea, or is he going to maybe slightly agree with him? And you take things such as that into consideration all the time. Particularly as a writer, because people will say, "Oh, you're not experienced enough to be writing something like this."
Yeah, but I mean, they can say that, but then how does anyone get the experience in the first place?
Yeah, because like I've mentioned, it's no secret. Like, I work on projects away from this as well. I work on all sorts of things. I work on music. I've like tried writing plays before. Like they've sort of like vanished into oblivion. Like, I didn't really like the way they were going, and I never went back to work on them. But also because like that's sort of how you grow as a writer. You do these projects for yourself. You abandon them. I mean, like, I know only one of those past projects before has been used, and it was used in a high school drama club. But like, I've no real shame to admitting it, because I've sort of gone along to sort of help, like, direct and help people with that, because my drama teacher had said, "Oh, can you like use this? Can we use this script in drama club?" It's just like, "Oh, right, sure, I'll come along and like help people out with it." So, it's all this sort of interesting sort of idea, but particularly because like the drama club at my old school focused on like reaching younger people. It focused on towards like the younger key stage. Like key stage 3, so it's all this very interesting idea. It was built along this very sort of complex backstory, and then people who do give the argument, because it's going to be inevitable, people who say, "Oh, you're not experienced enough to be writing this," it's, well, have you seen any of the scripts or anything? I don't think you have.
No. Yeah, exactly.
So for those wondering, there is a full-on idea to this. It's a very interesting plan and a idea, because you've seen the test scripts. You've seen how it's all going to go. And you're saying these are really good. Mohammed is saying these are really good. Like, I think even Kane is saying, "Yeah, these are good. I just don't want to admit it." Let's not be mean to Kane. I mean, we did piss him off a bit last time with like putting stuff in.
Yeah.
Speaking of Mohammed, he's actually online. I'm gonna sort of at him and tell him to watch the stream.
Oh, I think it's just gone off.
No, it's still active.
Just wait up.
But yeah, like, no, it's interesting to explore like these different characters. You'll have some who maybe like Wally. He's gonna have a very interesting sort of. I think there'll be an interesting sort of standoff between in him and Godspeed. Like, they are going to fight. It is going to be a solo fight. He's not going to be there like helping Barry with it. Like, "Oh, look at me, I'm here in the background, like helping Barry with this fight." It's not going to be like that. It's going to be a full-on like solo fight, and it'll make you wonder who's going to win. Like, Wally's had more training with his speed, but he's still a teenager. He's like maybe 17 in this, roughly.
Yeah, 14 to 17, I think.
Yeah, 14 to 17. Like, he's not much. I wouldn't say he's much older in like the Arrowverse. Like, despite the fact he's being played by an adult. Like, we'll ignore all that. We'll assume he's a teenager in the show.
They said be like 18, 19.
Yeah.
So.
But it really is focusing on like the dynamic that Jay Garrick will have, saying like, this guy, he's unstable, but he is trying to do good, isn't it?
So Jay will kind of have a conflict then, won't he?
I wouldn't really say he's got a conflict though, because like I have this idea planned for the sequel, and we'll get to talking about that in a sec. So you're gonna have to wait in suspense for me to reveal stuff like that and all of that. You're just like, "Damn you!" But
What?
But yeah, it's characters like Jay, or maybe even Wally, who's gonna be like, do we need to take this guy out? Or maybe even Barry will wonder that. And then you see the test script that's like more officially what would be used if we get an actor and we want to do a test script on them. You get the test script from that as well, and you think, "Oh, look at this! It's everything." And it's all this different sort of idea here that who's in the right, who's in the wrong, really. So there will be conflict within Team Flash, I think, but it's debatable as to who.
You there?
Yeah, so it's all going to be debatable as to like who's the conflict between, who's saying August has a point and who's saying that Barry is correct in everything he's saying, and it's all
They're
built.
both correct, but in different ways.
Yeah, like I think that'll be the conclusion everyone reaches, but also like you can see what side Caitlin will be on from the test script I've put out on her alone, and like, is it going to cause a rift between her and Cisco? Probably not, because like Cisco's lost people. Like he's seen like the darker side, and he's just like, no, we need to do it this way, and it'll be interesting. Wally, on the other hand, hasn't seen as much. Like he's seen stuff, he's experienced stuff, and then you're just there like, oh well, how does this all change? The answer is, does it? Here, again, chat, like, leave any questions. We're happy to answer anything within reason here. And it's all like this. It's all, yeah.
Hell, I mean, say about keeping people like for suspense.
Yeah.
Well,
Hang on, just wait for your voice to come back.
can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, so you're saying people.
And it's cut again.
For example, a way we could keep people feeling the suspense of it is like when it ends, we have it like say something.
Yeah, because we are
story over, and then maybe
You'll get this. I do plan to try and include like maybe some sort of end credit scene, and we've teased like the mystery character is more than likely because you know you've seen the stuff I'm doing. You're clearly intrigued by it, and I think you're liking the idea of a more original story for the sequel. Like I think you haven't really kept that much of a secret that you're sort of like leaning towards what I've shown you. It is going. You know, it's debatable, like we mentioned last time, there is going to be a scene between the mystery character and another character in this. It's more than likely going to be Godspeed. It's like maybe this sort of thing, like after Barry has gone back. Can I say this?
PM, what you want to say quickly?
Hang on.
Quickly.
Sorry about that, guys, because obviously if I say something bad and the director doesn't like it, I get fired from the project.
Yeah.
Can we say that?
I mean, the date hasn't been set. We've had the first was, of course.
Yeah.
Here's a fun fact. The original idea was definitely set in 2024. However, I don't know properly yet. We have to wait for.
Yeah, we have to wait for that. So can I say that or nah?
Well, really, it doesn't have any relevancy if we don't know the actual date the game's set in. So you could say it, except it just wouldn't have any relevancy at the moment.
And it can be a potential spoiler. So for those who are watching who don't want spoilers, yeah. For those who are watching who don't want potential spoilers, mute your thing now quickly, and I'll type in the chat when to unmute you. So
4,
3, 2,
2.
1. Mute now. I've just sent it to the chat. Barry will end up like going back in time. So the question is like, I can say anyone mute now. Okay. Hey, it'll be debatable as to whether there's the mystery character having the scene with Godspeed then, really.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't really think it's any secret, like, in terms of the character and as in their interactions and, like, all of that, like, people wonder, like, is the mystery character going to be the villain of the third game if there is one? No, he's not, but it isn't without potential that he'll likely appear in it, because he will act. I can confirm as much, like, if that pitch is used, and I think you're leaning towards it in terms of, like, you're using a lot of elements from, like, comics this time. You want a more original story for the next game, at least the next second game, if this turns into a trilogy or something. I do think you're leaning towards more of an original story for it, just so, like, you're not completely ripping it off the whole quote-unquote trilogy. Third game not confirmed.
Not confirmed.
Third game not confirmed. Potential.
Second game second game isn't even confirmed properly.
I mean, we sort of confirmed like it is going to happen like last week. Well, no,
Yeah.
yeah, sort of last week. I think
Yeah.
we spoke on Friday, didn't we? So here we are, like what, 4 days later, having another one of these podcasts. Like maybe one each week. Like we're doing it now for reasons I don't know.
We have got a proper we have got to get a proper schedule.
Yeah, we do. Like, but then again, it all depends on like when you and I are busy, because like obviously we've both got other commitments outside of this. But yeah, you are obviously leaning more towards an original story for the sequel, so it's going to be very interesting to see how it goes.
Hell, your mystery character. Will we have a voice modulator?
He's not going to have a voice modulator, at least not in the scene that he'll be appearing in this game. So it'll all be interesting, like, because obviously final ideas for him aren't completely ironed out. I know roughly where he's going to go, and you know roughly where he's going to go, but like in terms of like all the ironed out specifics, I have some, none of them I have shared with you.
Oh.
We'll talk about that later. Let's talk about the possibility of a game trailer for it, though, because that'll be interesting. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how potentially like doing a trailer and like who's going to appear in it. Definitely Godspeed. Like we'll pay. I would gladly write this whole sort of script for it, but like it's all debatable as to where everything's going to go with that, and I'm not really sure is the idea to make things like that happen or not. There is probably going to be a trailer. I think we can sort of say that. We've not really planned production on any of that yet. We're probably going to do it soon. Yeah, it's more than likely, but like it's not going to be coming within the next month. It won't be coming for more than a month. Like it's gonna, like we haven't even sort of decided is there going to be one yet. I think it's going to be pretty likely. Either there'll be one though.
If it is one, we could base it off of like the season trailers.
Yeah, like that's sort of the idea. Like we might do one for the demo. We might do one, and we would pretty much definitely be doing one for like the main game. But it's all sorts of potential. Ooh, I'm gonna quickly update the plan to you as well.
Yeah.
Because like we haven't actually been going that long, so we can talk about some more stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's all sorts of interesting sort of potential.
Yeah. I mean, the season 2 trailer for Flash. I mean, hell, I'm not even gonna send a link to you. Because it was interesting the way they did it.
Yeah, it was, and like you take into consideration all sorts of things, and like the title of this episode of the podcast is "Who is Godspeed?" So I'll quickly put that on the plan.
Yeah.
And no, that doesn't mean like any sort of history on him. Just a couple more points, because like we'll talk about the fifth one for a bit, then we'll go on to those two. It isn't going to really be any sort of like history lesson on him, but it's going to be sort of like who is he in this game? Who is he in this sort of universe we're trying to create that will tie into the Arrowverse? And like trailers won't really answer much. He's sort of going to be like he'll be talking as if he's really in a cell for it, really, and it's going to be interesting in terms of like his dynamic and his idea. Here's fuck it. Flash is failing, I'm going to become a killer to kill criminals.
That was basically his thinking in the comics anyway, so...
Yeah, it was, and like I think that's why we took the time to completely break the character apart and replan him and rebrand him in a way. DC, you really fucked it up when you made the idea for Godspeed and just rushed him so badly.
The moment with fans do a better job than
the actual comic writers.
Yeah,
it's actually hilarious as well, because like you can see we're taking a lot of time to put him in there, and like there's no guarantee like any big bad will appear in the trailer at all if there is one. I think it's more than likely going to be like the smaller threat, and that's what the Rogues will be. You've seen people team up with them in the comics. Particularly like Inertia. Inertia and the Rogues is a pretty famous team up.
Oh yeah. But they've even teamed up slightly in the show as well.
Yeah, they have sort of teamed up very, very Lightly, like even Barry has sort of teamed up with the Rogues, and like the Rogues sort of serve as these anti-heroes. They're happy robbing banks, and I remember like other YouTubers have said this. They're happy just robbing banks. They're not really all that bothered in terms of like everything else. I mean, Flashpoint as the Flash movie has sort of potentially been teased.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's windy against your mic or not, but but it's all sorts of like different potential, different ideas, and different
Yeah.
who knows what, like all sorts of plans and ideas. That's the season 2 trailer. Yeah, I've seen that as
Yep.
well because like there's a lot of
Yeah.
stuff teased. Like, you know, they say his name, they sort of confirm, yep, this is the big bad. It sort of focuses a bit on the aftermath. It's
Yeah.
you know, it's the way they build up the suspense, and it's a lot of that'll probably be a lot of what we're going to do if we put a
Yeah.
trailer out on this as well.
But there's one part of it I didn't like. They
Yeah.
intentionally misled us. Because right at the end, you know when you see the blue lightning lying around?
Yep.
Right at the end, you deliberately see a huge shifted version of Barry. You see the blue lightning, and if you watch it closely, you can see his symbol, his mask. It's not that in Zoom. They deliberately misled.
Oh yeah, I can sort of see that. Yeah, I see that because you've just sent me an image of it. I'm not going to flash it up or anything because I can't really do that without like showing Discord, and I'll forget to set it back. But yeah, I can see that. And, like, I don't know, maybe you can't completely confirm it's Barry. I mean, potentially it is, or maybe it's like early concept for how they were doing Zoom. So it's going to be very interesting. I
Maybe.
remember like seeing memes where they're just like one pointed out Reverse Flash like, this is a villain. Then they showed Godspeed. This is the fucking devil incarnate, or something similar.
Yeah, I thought that.
Hello,
Another
Beyond.
one, I mean, it had like a picture of the Reverse Flash and Barry, and it said, "This is the speedster intent on destroying the timeline," and above him is the Reverse Flash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all that sort of stuff. Like, particularly because if we do a trailer, like, it's more than likely not even showing the bigger threats. Like, it won't show Godspeed, it won't show Savitar, and it's going to be very interesting on like what we do with it. Like, is it going to be anything directly that appears? Is it going to be anything
Like
made?
the new Star Wars film trailers, it will have the voices in the background.
Yeah, well, it's gonna, and people will wonder like, oh, are we going to include Star Wars references? May as well. I mean, the universe is massive right now, so fuck it, we may as well include Star Wars references.
Multiverse.
No,
That's what you got to remember.
No, I'm talking about like the Star Wars universe is massive right now, so we may as well include
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
I'm doing a stream,
Yeah,
Harry.
but,
That's my brother shouting in the background. Stop installing things and just wait.
I'm glad I'm glad I don't have any younger brothers near my age.
He's 15, which is sort of depressing, but nah.
I have it worse. I have a 15-year-old sister.
I'd rather a sister. I'm not gonna lie.
That sounds wrong. no, just messing with you.
Nah,
Reddit's done.
it's all sorts of like different potential. All that's gonna go on, and like, I think we'll probably try and make it sort of reminiscent of the show's trailers and all sorts of like different options as well.
Definitely.
Yeah, but let's move on to the next point, and people will probably get excited for this because I think it'll sort of confirm that there is one officially. Fifth point is let's talk about the sequel a bit more.
Oh yeah. Oh, one sec.
While we wait for Savitar. Okay, are you back with us?
Okay, sorry about that. Adjust myself. Just grab my water.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, it's all sorts of like different potential that's going to happen. But sequel. That'll be interesting. I think it's sort of more than likely going to go with like the sort of story idea I'm presenting, because we are looking for a mystery character. He will be revealed in the sort of sequel that I am writing, so it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with him.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if I should reveal his name, because like you know it, because like you've sort of seen early drafts of like how I was hoping to put this villain in other ways as
You
well.
never. I don't think you revealed his name.
No, I've not revealed his name. I've revealed it to you.
No, I don't think you have.
I have.
Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat quickly. Like DM it. I can't remember.
Yeah, that's his name, and like you can tell he's a lot.
Oh.
Yeah, he is our mystery character, and like your reaction alone is really interesting. Like you're looking forward to how this character could be presented, because I think you.
I thought you meant like.
Yeah,
I
because
thought you
like
meant like
you're
story.
now like, oh yeah, I really want this as our like main sort of villain for the sequel. Nah, but like yeah, I'll talk about characters I'm putting in my version of the sequel, which I think which you have sort of leaned towards a bit, haven't you? Can you just confirm that you have?
Yeah, I do like it. It's good. It's very good. Very nice. uh,
It is going.
um,
It's going to include like a more variety of characters.
I
Like
can't.
it's not
My headphones fell out.
specifically.
One sec.
Oh,
Okay, back.
hey. No, it is going to include a much bigger sort of variety of characters. It's going to include more from the Arrowverse, and like characters I'm very excited to include will be
Yeah.
the Supergirl and Green Arrow, and Wild Dog as well is going to have a very interesting sort of relationship with that character as well. Character in the sequel, like
Honestly, I don't watch Arrow, remember, so I don't know who that old dog is.
you need to sort of watch Arrow to be able to sort of understand, particularly the early parts of the fourth
Yeah.
season. Like, watch the earlier parts of the fourth season, and you'll sort of understand like Wild Dog's attitude, and while he'll have an interesting sort of relationship with like the villain of the second game. But nah, should I reveal the name of our mystery character, or shall I leave him with something to theorize on? Like you know it. I'm wondering, shall we just leave him with that as a theory to make?
We'll let them
Theorize.
guess.
Yeah, we'll let them
Yeah.
do some theories, but all they need to know is he would be able to match the Green Arrow in a fight. He wouldn't be able to beat him. That's all I'm going to sort of say on that character right now. Apart from like the relationship he has with characters such as Wild Dog and maybe even Oliver outside of the Green Arrow suit will be very interesting. And like we've sort of teased, there's this rivalry between them. I'll go all the way down to him. I've gone past him. Where the fuck is mystery character? It's a fucking
he's
question
not-
mark. There we go. Yeah, like, he has this little monologue where he says to Green Arrow what I've just shown on the screen. It's very interesting sort of idea and interesting sort of potential. Like, people will zoom in and analyze the language, like, have we seen the character before? No, you haven't. He is a completely original character. So it's going to be interesting sort of what he's up to, what he's doing, and everything like that. Particularly, like, the lengths he'll go to. I've sort of teased that to you before as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. I even wrote a kind of script for it, didn't I? At the time.
For when he had, like, a bit of an audition, for his audition lines,
Yeah.
yeah, you did. And I did sort of confirm to you, that's not how this character would act. For one, partially because it was just all cringy, but also for two.
I did rewrite quite a bit.
Yeah, you did rewrite a lot of it, and I suppose this is sort of tying into the sixth point, because that is like talk about the big bad of the second game.
Yeah.
So we're doing the fifth and sixth point at the same time here. It's going to be it's going to be interesting to see like the relationship he has with characters such as Wild Dog, such as like John Diggle, maybe like. Because you think about
Yeah.
John Diggle's time, like I think he was in the military. I think you've seen enough of Arrow to understand that, haven't you?
I've only watched crossovers. So I know he well I've heard about it as well. I know what was it like he had PTSD or whatever.
I wouldn't say it was PTSD. Actually, I'd really consider it to
Shell
be
shock.
something interesting, something different, and it's going to be a very interesting sort of idea and
Yeah.
position, because John will say, "Hey, oh, he's got this very interesting idea that like he might sort of be a bit more lenient to what that villain is trying to do, because he's served in the military, he's been in places where we have to do what we have to do." Which sort of will
Yeah.
echo like sentiments of the villain. Like, there's no concept art for him yet. I might ask Kane to do someone sort of say like what I'm after for, or like the general look. I'll ask him, can you do some of it maybe? But I'm not gonna show. I wouldn't be showing it anytime soon. But yeah, if you had to
You're
guess
welcome.
right, yeah, if you had to guess right now, what kind of stuff do you think he'd get up to? Like, I've sort of teased like the lengths he'll go to.
Villa mode or civilian mode?
Both.
Well, you said he knew Oliver outside of his costume, right?
He
Like,
know he
outside the
knows
whole
like
Green
he
Arrow.
knows Oliver is like the mayor, and he has a very sort of interesting interaction with him.
So they don't know each other personally.
No, like they don't know each other personally, but he's gonna do everything.
Crap.
Yeah. Now, what else do you think you could guess about him? Like, what else would you go for in terms of like his character?
There goes my idea of him and Oliver were playing. I think.
No, they're not the sort of people who share a drink together. Like, even when he's not going around doing what he's doing, he is quite extreme in his beliefs.
Yeah.
But I'll say this: he's a lot more extreme than August.
Well, that certainly is interesting.
Right, I can't ban anyone from your game Discord, but we've
Why?
got a guy who's just there
One sec.
spamming. I've put him in the Speed Force
I've got-
temporarily. Ban him.
Cheers.
But yeah, it's his interactions with other characters and their ideas, such as that. Like, it's all very interesting. Did you ban him or did he leave?
I'm seeing if I have any previous history, or if he's on any other servers. Okay, he's on your server, by the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna toss him into the abyss.
What on both servers?
Yeah, even Sean's saying ban him. Sorry, everyone, we're currently like trying to deal with something. Yeah, ban him quickly. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
There we are. But yeah, back to the podcast.
Oh. Back after that bit of drama.
Yep, sorry
What was
about
it
that.
with you in drama?
It's always something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's much more extreme than August in some ways. He's left my server. He's probably going to come back in a sec.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, you're a Discord mod. You should be able to ban him.
Oh yeah, I'll mind there.
Yeah, and I'll keep an eye on it as well. It's all very sort of like interesting in terms of like, his position. Like, what's he going to do? What's his like idea for all of this? But yeah, like other guesses you can go for on him, like knock yourself out.
Um,
Turn it off because otherwise it's going to take you 12 hours to download that.
let me see. I can imagine him. I don't know. Maybe setting up bombs on boats or whatever.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, you can't boss me around. Go away, Harry. I think my brother's actually going to turn off the Wi-Fi. If he does, I'm going to be pissed. Because he just wants me to stop the stream so he can install a thing. Be absolutely typical.
He's about to turn off the Wi-Fi. just letting you know.